How you doing? I'm just going to adjust this camera. There we go. All right, so just thought of a nice live topic, and that is, would you ever risk throwing yourself in the deep end, just to see if you'd sink or swim on something brand new? I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where maybe it's like you're going for a job interview, right? Because I've been here, go for a job interview, and you got a great CV, but you've blagged it a bit, right? No, and you want to go for this next level up, right? And it's like a paradox because how can you get, when a job says, oh, we need experience, how do you get the experience in the first place if you don't take a risk? So there's always a time where I'm not saying tell lies on your CV, but if you feel that you're ready to take that jump and the next step, you're ready to get that next level, I think you should go in really bullish and go for that job interview and go for it and get the job. And then you might think like, I've had this, I've spoken to a lot of people and I've been there. You think, what happens if I can't deliver when I've been given this new position? And people are worried about maybe, you may have done, will I perform? Will I be all right on in that job? I've never done this before. I've never had this much responsibility. And in a way, that is an absolute perfect time to throw yourself in the deep end to see if you'll sink or swim, because you've got to get ahead and you've got to take the risk. And you think, right, is it worth taking the risk? Right, what happens if it doesn't work out? And at the end of the day, the way to see it is just look at the worst case. If it doesn't work out, what's the worst that can happen? You go back doing your old job. Right, in that case, yeah, it's definitely worth taking the risk. But the great thing about throwing yourself in the deep end like that, right, you're not doing it blind if it's within a career. If you've already done like this level of role and you're going for that level of role, it's not completely blind. You've got some experience, you know the industry and what you're actually doing. So, yeah, sometimes it can be the fastest way for you to get results. It'd be the fastest way for you to level up because you took that big risk and you'll know very quickly whether you sink or swim. And you can do this in many scenarios once you get going with it. So I've done that with the job. I've got this job and I landed it and I thought it was great, everything, company car, all this business. And I'm thinking, God, it's like fresh out of uni. Will I actually do this? Can I actually do this job? And I was kind of confident. One way to do this, if you know that you have enough skills, and it's almost like, all right, I'll learn on the job. I just had confidence in my ability at the time that I could pick up the skills and just run with it. And I really chucked myself into the deep end with this job. But it worked out because I knew that I would just push through. So if you're doing it like that, where let's say you've already been working at a lower role and you're going for this like big role, you're going to take that job interview, you've gone in bullish, you've smashed the interview, you might have blagged it a little bit or embellished your CV, whatever, right? You need to do something to get ahead. And then you think, shit, am I going to sink or swim? Just go for it because you'll find out really quick. And like I say, the worst case is you just have to go and get your old job back, right? Would you take the risk on sink or swim if, say, it was a brand new business, something brand new? If it was in an industry that you have no experience of whatsoever, then yeah, it might be a bit of a risk. But if you've already been, let's say you were going from employed to self-employed, then yes, it's worth throwing yourself in the deep end. All I would do there is make sure you've got a little bit of a fallback position. You can go and get your old job back, or there's a few jobs that you might be able to do. All right, you don't want to do them jobs, but it is a worst case. Can you live with that worst case? Maybe save a bit of money up just in case things went really wrong, and then just go for it. Just throw yourself in the deep end. But I would only do that if you knew something about the industry. And And that's why, like in the journal, we create goals and we set goals. We're living with intent. So we're not just winging it, you know what I mean? We're not just completely throwing ourselves in the deep end of like the fire pit and we don't got a clue what we're doing, because that would just be crazy, right? As long as you've got a plan, you're living with intent, you're setting your intentions, you can chuck yourself in the deep end, see if you sink or swim. It's a great test. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? If you can live with the worst case scenario, just go for it, right? Because that will give you the quickest way of finding out whether you're up to it or not, right? And depends on your risk appetite. I think training your risk tolerance is really good. Would you throw yourself in the deep end, see if you sink or swim? Don't do don't do that on anything detrimental to your life, you know what I mean? If your lifestyle really depends on, a certain thing, like I wouldn't flip a coin on my house, something crazy like that. But, leveling up in a job, starting a new business, maybe asking someone out on a date, stuff like this, it's the fastest way you're going to know, isn't it? If you're there procrastinating and deliberating, should I do it, should I not? As long as you could live with a worst case scenario, because chances are it's not that bad, and as long as you've created a plan, so you've got some goals, you write your goals down, you're living with intent, you're working towards them, I think you can start to take some real risks. Because what delivers results, as we know, consistency. 3 things a day, working towards your goals over a long period of time will deliver any goal. So, create yourself a plan, live with intent, create those goals so you know what you're doing. 3 things a day, working towards them. And if it is something like a big change, like starting a new business, changing my job, I don't know, could be anything like, moving country, something really huge, starting a new relationship, just flipping go for it if you've created a plan. Because then you've looked at the worst case, you've looked at what could potentially go wrong, and you've also got you've got a list of things that are going to help you to achieve that goal, and you're prepared to work on it each day. And you also think about the time as well, because don't underestimate how long it takes to achieve what you need to achieve. Really factor in the long game. Are you prepared to stick it out? And then if all them things check out and you've got a plan, you know the steps, everything that you need to do, you're happy working towards it every day, and you've factored in the worst case scenario, I would literally just go for it. Throw yourself in the deep end, see what happens. I've done it a few times myself, whether it's jobs, businesses. I've taken some big risks, but I did it knowing that I was passionate about what I wanted to do. Very passionate, and I had a plan, and I just went for it. It's got some comments. So, William, sorry to hear about that, mate. Mum passed away 2 days ago. Wow. I am sorry to hear about that. Do you know what? I don't know what to say about that. I've just been to a funeral today as well. It's part of life. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe you can use that now as fuel to go and get, is it an opportunity? Can you see the good in it? Can you get an opportunity to go and maybe make some changes for yourself, go and do something good, right? Plan it out and go and chuck yourself in the deep end on something that you know that you want to do. Maybe would make your mum happy. Sorry to hear about that, but keep going. 3 things a day. All right. And that's my method. Consistency every day. If you work with intent towards your goals every single day, you will eventually achieve them. William, what are you doing? I'm joking. I'm just testing if you're kind. Right. Am I kind? Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. I think I'm kind, deep down, but you know, everyone says that. One thing I would say about being kind, though, did you know that everyone's selfish? Because everyone's trying to get their own needs met. You know, everyone is selfish, trying to get their own needs met. Even in a relationship with someone that you love, you're doing it at your own selfish needs, right? And this is why I think taking risks in life is always, cheers, mate, is taking risks in life is always, you know, life's too short. You've got to take some risks. And it's all right to look after yourself as well. Look after number one. I think that's fine. As long as you're living a good life with intent, and also that you're, you know, you're considering others. So a lot of your goals, certainly my goals, are about, you know, I want to help the people that I work with. I want to help my family. And I always think that the better I become, the more they benefit. And just on, you know, the whole sink or swim thing, I've taken loads of risks. And it almost feels like, I don't know how you feel when you take a risk, it's like, it's my burden. I know why I'm doing it so that other people, you know, my family can benefit, hopefully, from the risks that I take. And I take it on like a burden, right? And I think that's fine. I think, but because I'm taking the risk, then surely any results I get to take the rewards as well. But hopefully, this is the thing, right? The more risks you can take, and I'm not talking like these are calculated risks. You've got a plan. The more risks you take. Oh, thank you. 108. Oh, my 850th. Get in. Thank you. Yeah. So the more risks you take, right, that are calculated with intent, with goals that you set, you're working towards them each day, 3 things a day, working towards your goals, the more likely you are to actually achieve everything that you want. And I've done that for everything, you know, fitness, business, personal, professional relationships, you know, whatever I want to achieve, things on the house, things like this. You can do it on any goal. Spirituality is a big goal of mine at the minute, you know, becoming more mindful. So, yeah, I think you should chuck yourself in the deep end and start creating some, taking some risks. Start exercising that, because if you chuck yourself in the deep end on something, you'll quickly find out. It's like, but you can do it in small chunks, you know, like the agile method. So the old agile method is like fail early. So you look at this little component of my massive goal, you know, chunk it down, this bit. I'm going to take a massive risk on it today. Just chuck it in. You know, you've bounded that risk into something small. Start training yourself to take these little jumps each day and just going for it. Oh, yeah, you talk about the Star Wars. Also in the top left. I don't know which is your top left. It's probably mirrored, so if this is it that one? Right, so what we got, I'm going to end this video, but that's obviously Millennium Falcon. This one's the Slave, you know, Boba Fett's ship. And then this one is it Atat? You know, Empire Strikes Back in the snow, you know. The artist on these, by the way, the Urban Giant, Mark Turley, absolutely brilliant. Just go on his website, Urban Giant, you can buy these. I've got loads of it in other rooms as well. Right, go and take some risks. And chuck yourself in the deep end, see what happens. You'll find out very quick, just like the agile methodology. Fail early, or you might end up with a big win. All right. I've done some videos on making decisions, by the way, if you want to go and check them out. After this, I'll probably drop a couple in the description. Right. See you all later. See you all next time.